The discovery of the pristine laboratory aboard research station, Omega-7 hummed with the quiet efficiency of advanced alien technology. Dr. Kalvara. Thane's crystalline form refracted the soft blue light as she adjusted the genetic sequencer for the 1,000th time that cycle. The Galactic Alliance's most ambitious project was nearing completion. Every member species had contributed DNA samples for the Universal Genetic Archive, a comprehensive database designed to understand the evolutionary pathways of all sentient life in the galaxy. Commander Jake Morrison stood nearby, his human form seeming almost primitive compared to the elegant aliens surrounding him. As the human military liaison, he was present merely as a formality. The humans were the newest members of the Alliance, barely a century since first contact. Their contribution to galactic science was considered minimal at best. Dr. Zendar S. Aquatic tank bubbled softly as the Meridian researcher manipulated holographic displays with tentacles that moved like liquid silver. Professor Yila Kor, the insectoid Rex geneticist, clicked her mandibles in rhythm with the data streams flowing across her compound eyes. Together, they represented 3 of the galaxy's most advanced species, each with evolutionary histories spanning millions of years. The human samples had been saved for last, almost as an afterthought. After analyzing the complex genetic structures of beings who had mastered interstellar travel before humans discovered fire, what could the young species possibly offer? Kalvara's harmonic voice resonated through her crystal body as she spoke. Initiating human genetic sequence analysis. Subject designation: Jake Morrison, Human Military Liaison. The commander had volunteered his own DNA, knowing the other species scientists were curious about human biology. The sequencer whirred to life, its quantum processors beginning to unravel the double helix that contained humanity's genetic blueprint. At first, everything appeared normal. Standard carbon-based life form, bilateral symmetry, typical mammalian characteristics. The alien scientists nodded approvingly, their various appendages moving in gestures of mild interest. Then the anomalies began. Zendar's tentacles froze mid-motion as his sonar-based vision detected something impossible. Kalvara, are you seeing this? The human genome contains sequences I've never encountered before. The crystalline scientist's internal light flickered with confusion as she examined the data. These appear to be dormant genetic pathways. But the complexity is unprecedented. Jake, how many evolutionary extinction events has your species survived? Commander Morrison shrugged, his casual demeanor unchanged. The scientists back home talk about 5 or 6 major ones. Why, Professor? Kor's mandibles clicked rapidly, a sign of extreme agitation among her people. Because your DNA suggests you've survived dozens, perhaps hundreds. The laboratory fell silent, except for the hum of processing equipment. The sequencer was diving deeper into human genetic code, uncovering layer after layer of dormant information. What they had initially dismissed as junk DNA was revealing itself to be something far more extraordinary. Kalvara's crystalline structure began to pulse with alarm as new data cascaded across her consciousness. This is impossible. The human genome contains genetic memories from environments your species has never encountered. Arctic conditions that would freeze methane solid. Atmospheric pressures that would crush our strongest metals. Radiation levels that would sterilize entire star systems. Zendar's tank bubbled violently as his emotional state shifted to panic. Look at this protein sequence. It's designed to repair cellular damage from cosmic radiation exposure. But humans have barely left their home system. How could they have evolved resistance to deep space hazards? The most disturbing discovery came when Professor Kor isolated the neural pathway connections. Her compound eyes dilated as she processed the information. The dormant sequences aren't just passive survival traits. They're connected to the human nervous system. Under extreme stress, these pathways can activate. Commander Morrison felt a chill run down his spine as he watched the alien's growing agitation. "What exactly are you saying?" Calvara's harmonic voice dropped to a whisper. "We're saying that human DNA contains the evolutionary responses to threats. That shouldn't exist in your local galactic region. It's as if your species has been preparing for challenges they've never faced." The sequencer continued its relentless analysis, uncovering more impossibilities with each passing moment. Human immune systems contained memory cells for pathogens that existed only in the galaxy's most hostile regions. Muscle fiber structures that could theoretically increase strength by factors of 10. Neurological pathways that could accelerate reaction times beyond the threshold of conscious thought. Dr. Zendar's tentacles trembled as he manipulated the holographic display. "There's something else. The human genome contains what appears to be species memory from multiple worlds. Genetic information from environments with different gravity, atmosphere, even different fundamental physics." Professor Core's clicking reached a frenzied pace. "That's impossible. No single species could have evolved on multiple worlds simultaneously. Unless—" She paused, her insectoid features frozen in realization. "Unless what?" Morrison demanded, his human intuition sensing the growing fear in the room. Calvara's crystalline form dimmed as she processed the implications. "Unless humans aren't originally from Earth. Unless your species is the result of directed evolution, designed to survive in any environment the galaxy could present." The laboratory's emergency lighting suddenly activated, bathing everything in pulsing red. The sequencer had detected something that triggered the station's automatic containment protocols. Warning klaxons echoed through the corridors as blast doors sealed the research wing. Morrison felt something stirring deep within his body, a tingling sensation that started in his core and spread outward. The stress of the situation, the fear, radiating from the alien scientists, seemed to be awakening something in his genetic code. Zendar's sonar detected the changes first. "Jake, your cellular structure is shifting, heart rate increasing, muscle density changing, neural activity spiking beyond normal human parameters." The commander looked down at his hands, watching as his veins became more prominent, his muscles subtly expanding. He felt stronger, faster, more alert than he had ever been in his life. His vision sharpened until he could see individual dust motes floating in the air. His hearing became so acute that he could distinguish the separate heartbeats of each alien in the room. Professor Core backed away, her mandibles clicking in terror. "The dormant sequences are activating. Whatever stress response system humans possess, it's engaging now." Calvara's voice rose in pitch, her crystalline structure resonating with panic. "We need to contact the Alliance Council immediately. If humans can access these genetic modifications at will, if they can adapt to any threat—" She couldn't finish the sentence. The implications were too terrifying to voice. Morrison felt the changes stabilizing, his enhanced senses taking in every detail of the laboratory around him. He could smell the fear pheromones of the insectoid, hear the rapid circulation of fluid through the aquatic alien system, see the microfractures of stress appearing in the crystalline being's structure. "What did you find?" he asked, his voice carrying a new resonance that seemed to vibrate through the air itself. Dr. Zendar's tentacles curled defensively as he replied. "We found that humans aren't just another species, Jake. You're something else entirely. Something that was built to survive anything the universe could throw at it." The sequencer completed its analysis with a soft chime that seemed deafeningly loud in the tense silence. The final results displayed across the holographic projectors, showing a genetic structure so complex and adaptive that it defied everything the galaxy thought it knew about evolution. Calvara's harmonic voice was barely audible as she read the conclusion. Genetic compatibility with hostile environments. 99.7%. Adaptive potential. Unlimited. Threat assessment. She paused, her crystalline form flickering with distress. Unknown. The emergency lighting continued to pulse as the four beings stood in the sealed laboratory, the weight of their discovery settling over them like a suffocating blanket. Humanity had just revealed itself to be something unprecedented in galactic history, and none of them knew what that meant for the future of the Alliance. Commander Morrison felt his enhanced senses gradually returning to normal, but the knowledge of what lay dormant within him remained. Whatever his species truly was, whatever purpose they had been designed for, the galaxy was about to find out. The Awakening the Emergency Council session convened within hours of the laboratory lockdown. Admiral Nexus, the station commander whose energy-based form flickered with barely contained anxiety, materialized in the center of the sealed research wing. His consciousness crackled with electromagnetic distress as he surveyed the scene. The three alien scientists had not moved from Marta, their positions around the genetic sequencer. Commander Morrison stood apart from them, his human form now carrying an indefinable presence that made the others instinctively maintain distance. "Report," Admiral Nexus commanded, his energy field pulsing with authority. Dr. Calvara's crystalline structure resonated with harmonics of distress as she began. "Admiral, we have discovered that human genetic code contains impossibilities. Their DNA suggests evolutionary preparation for environments and threats that don't exist in their local galactic region." Professor Core's mandibles clicked nervously as she added, "More disturbing is the integration pattern. These aren't random mutations or genetic drift. This appears to be intentional design." Dr. Zindar's tentacles moved in patterns of deep concern. "Admiral, we believe humans may be artificial constructs, designed beings created for a specific purpose we don't yet understand." The energy being's form flickered with shock. In his 3 centuries of existence, Admiral Nexus had never encountered anything like this. The implications were staggering. "You're saying humans are not naturally evolved?" he asked, his electromagnetic voice resonating through the room. Commander Morrison stepped forward, his enhanced awareness still active enough to detect the fear radiating from every alien present. "With respect, Admiral, I think you're asking the wrong question. The question isn't whether we're artificial. The question is why we were made." Before anyone could respond, the laboratory's communication system activated. An emergency transmission from Earth had reached the station, carrying the voice of Dr. Elena Vasquez, humanity's leading geneticist. "Commander Morrison, we've detected the activation of dormant genetic sequences in your DNA from our monitoring systems. You need to know something that our governments have kept classified for decades." The holographic display showed Dr. Vasquez's face, her expression grave. 50 years ago, during deep archaeological excavations, we discovered something that changed everything we thought we knew about human evolution. We found structures. Ancient structures buried beneath every continent on Earth. Admiral Nexus's energy field intensified. "What kind of structures?" Dr. Vasquez's image flickered as the transmission struggled across interstellar distances. "Genetic laboratories. Facilities designed for biological engineering on a massive scale. But they weren't built by humans. They were built for humans." The silence that followed was profound. The implications of her words settled over the research team like a physical weight. "We found records," Dr. Vasquez continued. "Fragments of data that told an impossible story. Earth wasn't humanity's first home. We were created as a species designed to survive extinction events, to adapt to hostile environments, to carry the genetic memory of countless worlds." Professor Core's clicking reached a frenzied pace. "Created by whom?" The human scientist's expression darkened. "By a species that called themselves the Architects. They faced a galactic-scale extinction event, something that would destroy all life in multiple star systems. They couldn't escape it, but they could ensure that life would continue. Dr. Calvara's harmonic voice resonated with awe and terror. They created humans as a repository, a living archive of evolutionary data from thousands of species across the galaxy. Dr. Vasquez nodded grimly. The genetic sequences you've discovered aren't just survival traits, they're memories. Humanity carries within our DNA the accumulated evolutionary wisdom of an entire galactic civilization. Commander Morrison felt the dormant pathways in his mind beginning to stir again. Images flashed through his consciousness that weren't his own memories. Worlds with purple skies and silver trees. Oceans of liquid methane under the light of twin stars. Cities that floated in the vacuum of space, held together by technologies beyond current understanding. The activation threshold, Dr. Vasquez continued, was designed to trigger when humans encountered other sentient species. The architects knew that when we joined a galactic community, we would need access to the full range of our capabilities. Admiral Nexus's energy form began to pulse in complex patterns, a sign of deep calculation among his species. If this is true, then humans possess the genetic memory of a civilization that predates our current galactic order by millions of years. Dr. Zindar's tentacles moved in patterns of realization. That's why human immune systems are so aggressive. Why humans can survive in environments that kill other species. You're not just adapted for survival on Earth. You're adapted for survival anywhere in the galaxy. The laboratory systems detected another surge of genetic activity from Commander Morrison. His cellular structure was shifting again, but this time the changes were more profound. His neural pathways were forming new connections, accessing information stored in the deepest layers of his DNA. Morrison's voice carried new harmonics as he spoke, as if he were channeling the voice of the ancient architects themselves. The extinction event that destroyed the architects is cyclical. It returns every few million years, sweeping across the galaxy like a wave of annihilation. They created us to survive it, to preserve the knowledge and genetic diversity of all the species that would be lost. Professor Kaur backed away as she realized the magnitude of what they were witnessing. You're saying humans are a doomsday protocol made flesh. The enhanced human nodded, his eyes now carrying depths that seemed to hold the wisdom of ages. We are the galaxy's insurance policy. When the extinction wave returns, we will remember what was lost. We will carry forward the evolutionary achievements of every species that contributed to our creation. Dr. Calvara's crystalline form began to resonate with a mixture of fear and wonder. When will this cycle complete? When will the extinction event return? Morrison's enhanced awareness processed information flooding through his genetic memory. Star charts appeared in his mind, showing the movement of cosmic forces across millions of years. Soon, the wave is already building at the galaxy's edge. Within a few thousand years, it will reach the core systems. The weight of this revelation settled over the research team. They had discovered that humans were not just another species joining the galactic community. They were the repository of an ancient civilization's greatest achievements, designed to survive when everything else perished. Admiral Nexus's energy field stabilized as he processed the implications. What does this mean for the Alliance? For the other species? Commander Morrison felt the full weight of his species' true purpose settling on his shoulders. It means we have a choice. We can hide what we are, pretend to be just another primitive species that got lucky. Or we can embrace our true nature and help the galaxy prepare for what's coming. Dr. Vasquez's transmission crackled with static as she added, Commander, every human on Earth is beginning to show similar genetic activation patterns. Our species is awakening to its true potential. The question is what we do with that knowledge. The laboratory fell silent as the implications sank in. Humanity had been created as the ultimate survivors, carrying within their DNA the genetic memory of an entire galactic civilization. They possessed the ability to adapt any environment, survive any threat, and remember everything that would otherwise be lost to time. But with that power came responsibility, the knowledge that they were designed for a purpose that would require them to outlive every other species in the galaxy. They were not just members of a galactic community. They were its future guardians, its living memory, its hope for continuation beyond the coming darkness. As the research station's emergency lights continued to pulse, 5 beings stood in the sealed laboratory, each processing the magnitude of what they had discovered. The galaxy would never be the same, and neither would humanity's place in it. The hidden code had been revealed, and with it, the true destiny of the human species.